Folks, we are rocking and rolling. New week, fresh energy, new slate of shows on what is the hottest form of Alabama football news, notes, and information. You know it, I know it, as in my own words. Touchdown Alabama Magazine. I'm yours truly, Stephen Smith, live in studios. Now, with the video of this coming out on Thursday, it would make us 9 days away from Alabama Duke, but look at me here, just getting excited, counting down the days to Alabama's 2019 regular season schedule. But we start off this week's edition of shows in talking about a positional group that I'm excited about, that I have been very high on, and a group that will not only be a huge strength this season, but it will go a long way into Alabama becoming a more dangerous team, into the Crimson Tide getting back to playing winning football, and into this program showing that dominance, that group being the offensive line under first-year position coach Kyle Flood, coming from the National Football League, those Atlanta Falcons. Now, what makes this group so dynamic is you already know who your offensive tackles are. Those guys being Jedrick Wills at right tackle, Alex Leatherwood at left tackle. Both guys have played football for quite some time. They played together, of course, last season. Got a chance to get some playing time as freshmen in 2017. And both guys came in with returning junior quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, and with those guys protecting the front and the back of Tagovailoa, you know that it's going to be very rare for this young man to hit the ground in the upcoming season due to Jedrick Wills, Alex Leatherwood not going to allow the Heisman finalist and consensus All-American from 2018 to hit the ground. But the intriguing part of all of this is Alabama's got 5 names that can play at either the center or guard position. Very deep, very diverse, very versatile. Those 5 names being Chris Owens, Emil Ikior Jr., Matt Womack, Evan Neal, and Landon Dickerson. Of course, you would have to throw Deontay Brown in there as well, but that's upon him coming back from the 4-game suspension he is serving due to an NCAA infraction or violation. But those 5 names again: Chris Owens, Emil Ikior Jr., Landon Dickerson, Evan Neal, and Matt Womack in terms of the 5 guys that can play at either those center and or guard spots, the interior part of that offensive line. And for a good portion of the offseason, a good portion of the summer, it was a foregone conclusion that Chris Owens would be the starting center. Owens, the redshirt junior at 6'3", 315 pounds, out of Arlington, Texas, came in as a 4-star in the 2016 class. Nick Saban raving about this young man's hard work, his mentality, his leadership, him affecting the teammates around him. I remember speaking with redshirt senior Matt Womack at the open practice /fan day, and he mentioned how, Owens has come a long way. Was not recruited as a center, didn't really feel like the position for him. He came in as a guard, but he has truly learned the center role, and the guys around him respect him. So for the most part, for a good portion of the offseason, it was a foregone conclusion that Chris Owens would be the starter. However, with the arrival in about a week or 2 weeks ago, in the arrival of graduate transfer Landon Dickerson from Florida State, he has come in. This young man has impressed the team. He's impressed the coaching staff. He is nasty. He is physical. He is tough. He is smart. He is versatile. He has taken this offensive line group by storm under Kyle Flood, and it is incredible. And getting the chance to hear from Nick Saban in his presser on last week, he just talked about how Dickerson's played both center and guard for Alabama thus far since he's been in fall camp, and a guy that he has really embraced being at Alabama. Remember, he comes from Florida State, and one of the primary reasons as to why Florida State is in the demise that it's in is, remember when Jimbo Fisher left? Part of the reason Fisher left Tallahassee is due to the powers that be above Fisher did not honor what he was trying to do in terms of improving the facilities at Florida State, in terms of trying to get the players more things that they need inside the program. And what Florida State did not have in accommodating its players, Alabama does have in terms of the facilities, in terms of the medical staff, the training room, just different things to really help these student athletes be the best they can be. And when you come from a situation to where you don't have these amenities and you come to a place where those things are provided, you tend to take to it better, you tend to appreciate it more, you tend to value it more. And Nick Saban talked about how Dickerson has come into an environment where he has more at Alabama than he has at Florida State, and he kind of has taken ownership at that, and he's working hard to beat out other guys that may not value it as much as he does. And he's bringing that toughness, that nastiness, that meanness in terms of that center position and in all facets of the offensive line. Dickerson, the former 5-star out of Hickory, North Carolina, at 6'6", 308 pounds, arguably the best front lineman Florida State had this past year. When you look at what he was able to do for the likes of Dalvin Cook when he played for the Seminoles, Cam Akers at running back also, and even DeAndre Francois assisting him to having a season-high 4 touchdown passes against Louisville in 2018 in the 28-24 win there. So Dickerson really doing a fantastic job. And in the event, I'm not saying this happens, but in the event he beats out Chris Owens at center, and this is no offense to Chris Owens, but in the event that Dickerson beats out Owens, now you're going to see how truly scary this depth is. Because if Dickerson beats out Chris Owens, I'm going to show you on screen how this offensive line is about to look week 1 against Duke. Should Dickerson get this job, I would have the offensive line from left to right like this. Alex Leatherwood, left tackle. Evan Neal, left guard. Landon Dickerson, center. Emil Ekiyor, right guard. Jedrick Wills, right tackle. That is how this offensive line would look if Dickerson beats out Chris Owens. And that's a really good offensive line. Now, you could still have Matt Womack, the redshirt senior, rotate in at either left or right guard. You could still have Chris Owens rotate in. You could still have, as I mentioned, Deontay Brown rotate in. But if Dickerson was to win the job from left to right, Alex Leatherwood, left tackle, Evan Neal, left guard, Dickerson at center, right guard, Emil Ekiyor Jr., right tackle, Jedrick Wills. And just that center position by itself, folks, we're looking at Alabama going 5 deep at center because you would have Dickerson, Owens, Ekiyor. I haven't even mentioned guys like Darian Dalcourt, the freshman who came in the 2019 class, who can play both center and guard, and Hunter Brannon from Coleman, Alabama, who came in that 2017 class, who was recruited as a natural center. Alabama's running 5 deep at that center spot, but the 5 names on the interior, that's just really diverse. You've got Chris Owens, Matt Womack, Emil Ekiyor Jr., Evan Neal, and Landon Dickerson, and it's a very, very pleasant sight to see, folks. If Dickerson wins this job, if he surpasses Chris Owens, we are about to see a really, really good Joe Moore-like offensive line. And for Kyle Flood, that man's licking his chops right now because he has everything at his disposal, and he is about to unleash it on college football. But folks, that's going to do it for the first segment here of In My Own Words. As always, get yourself well acquainted with the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app if you haven't already done so. Invest in yourself. You can get this app via the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. Also, you got the podcast options listed at the bottom of the screen. Check those out. Subscribe, people, to tdalabamamag.com for all your latest news, notes, and information covering your Alabama Crimson Tide. And also check out the site on YouTube. Over 1 million video views, over 5,000 subscribers strong. That's because of you, the smart fan. Upon our return, we dive into the 5-man battle at inside linebacker opposite Dylan Moses and who I see taking this job. Don't touch that dial, folks. Just getting started. To end my own words. What's up, college football fans? You can catch the show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Subscribe to get all the news, notes, and information covering your Alabama Crimson Tide.